So I wanted to share my new Android radio, 12.3 inches for BMW X3 F25. If you want to see how the old radio looked, this was a factory radio, 6.5 inches, and this is a 12.3 inches. It looks better in my opinion, and it does not look aftermarket at all. It sticks well. When I was in the market, I was looking for either an 8.8 inch or a 10.25 inch. The 8.8 inch just didn't work for me. It was too small. The 10.25 inch, they had a big bezel which totally did not look good. So I chose this route instead, and in my opinion it looks much better. And if you take a look at the Android, if you go back to the screen, if you see, I am using my iDrive. It has full iDrive functionality, and if you press this portion on radio, it goes back to the original Android settings. So you can still use your car Android as if it was normal. And if you see, the steering wheel functions still work well. And if you want to go back to the Android version, you either long press the menu button or you press the screen. I prefer to touch the menu button, long press, and you go back to the Android. So it has everything here. Navigation, I set it to Waze. You can go to media, you can play music, you can play videos, you have phone, you have an instrument cluster, shows you this information. This one doesn't really have much use. Settings and apps. For apps, if you notice, I have YouTube, but I'll go to YouTube later. Spotify, basically anything you want for Android. But let me show you this. If you install this, you can also install a dash cam. My dash cam is right here. I wired it up the roof line, went down there, and then you can pry on the right side. I went through the dashboard and then connected it to the Android. And if you go in reverse, you'll see a reverse camera with all of the sensors, front and back, fully working and fully integrated. Now let's go to apps. Apps, you can go to Spotify. You can do YouTube. And this is something I really like. If you press this, you can choose a split screen. So you can use two apps at the same time. So you can use your maps, and at the same time you can use YouTube. So let's go back to Spotify. Basically anything you want in an Android you can play. So works great. One thing I had a problem here with is when I bought this, I don't have the what they call that, the coaxial, the two green cables, which connects to the Android, which connects to the radio and then to the Android. So what I had to do is I had to contact the seller. They eventually responded to me after a long back and forth of 3 weeks. They eventually hooked me up to an engineer. What he did was he asked that the two green buttons in the power button be cut and that they be soldered together and spliced with the two orange wires. So it's the green wires. You cut the green wires and then you connect them with the orange wires. And when that was done, everything was functioning. Previously, I couldn't use my iDrive. The iDrive buttons weren't functioning, and the steering wheel buttons weren't functioning, the radio buttons weren't functioning. I don't know exactly what he did, but with that bypass, now everything works fine. I don't even have this device connected to my auxiliary, but the music comes out on its own. So I'll try to insert a picture of that modification after I try editing this, but it's quite simple. Once you do that, everything should work fine. So again, a comparison. This is the old, this is the new. New one looks much better in my opinion. It's about 3 times bigger than the old one. Right. So that's it. Enjoy.